12 days to go. Are you ready to win this election?
Yes, sir!
Are you ready to beat Kamala Harris?
Yes, sir!
Are you ready to beat Lucas Coates?
Yes, sir!
Are you ready to save the United States of America?
Yes, sir!
Boy, that's what we're here to do, isn't it? We've got 12 days to do it. Our country is in crisis, but our country is worth fighting for. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir!
And we can save it. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir!
Hey, let me introduce you to somebody here who I'm fighting for. My little girl. This is my sweet Abigail.
Hey,
Let's boost her up here. There she is. There she is. Abigail, can you tell everybody how old are you now? Oh, we're shy. She actually brought out another outfit to show y'all her Halloween costume. She's got it right here. She's going to be Supergirl. She's Supergirl every day to her daddy, let me tell you. Abigail, how old are you, baby? She's 3. Can you tell us what your favorite color is? Is it orange? No. Is it red?
No.
Okay, what is it?
Pink.
Pink! Abigail, do you have any brothers at home? You've got Elijah. Who else?
Blaze.
And Blaze. Elijah and Blaze. Who else do we have with us here today?
Mama.
Mama! Mama, should we introduce Mama? Should we introduce Mama? You want to do it?
Jimmy.
That's Grandma. Grandma's Jenny. And we've got Mama here. You know what? 14 years ago, a little over that now, much to the surprise of her family and mine, my wife said yes to me when I asked her to marry me. I tell you what, I brought home my wife for the first time when we were still dating. My sister, younger sister, I might add. You know how this is, younger siblings. My younger sister said, Josh, she's so beautiful, she's so smart, why is she dating you? Tell you what, she said yes to me, and every day since has been an incredible blessing. I want to give her a chance to say something to you. Would you welcome my wife, Erin Hawley?
Thank you so much. It's such a delight and honor to be here. I apologize, I got a little bit of a cold here. But I just wanted to tell you all a little bit about Josh, things that you might not know. And the first of them has to do with our daughter, Abigail. As you might imagine, she has her dad wrapped around his finger, or her finger, I should say. The other day, we were at the grocery store with her brothers, and for anyone shopping with 3 kids at the grocery store is not for the faint of heart. So Abigail, we were getting, oranges and bananas and bread, all the staples, and Abigail found a stuffy that she just had to have, this pink unicorn. I said, no, Abigail, we're just getting groceries today, no treasures. And so she looks at me, and you could tell she was just deciding whether to have an all-out fit, and we could throw a pretty good fit. Or, maybe she was just going to take it in stride. So she was contemplating this, and then she just looks at me and she says, it's okay, Mama. I asked Dada. She had no doubt her dad would get it for her the next time they went grocery shopping. The other thing I wanted to share is just something that I'm so proud of Josh for. And that's for his response to about 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. He had just run for the Attorney General's office, was doing a fantastic job. He was fighting sex trafficking rings and big pharma and opioids and just doing a fantastic job. And when you do a good job, people notice. So folks started asking him to run for the Senate. I was not super enthusiastic. We had just run a statewide campaign with 2 small boys. They were about Abigail's size at the time. And to Josh's credit, he didn't just jump at the chance. He just didn't say yes because it was the next thing or more prestigious or whatnot. Instead, he really thought about it. He thought about it and he prayed. He counted the cost. And at the end of the day, after lots of prayer, lots of discussions, we came to the conclusion, Josh came to the conclusion that we wanted to be able to look at our kids and our 2 boys and Abigail in 20, 30, 40 years, and just to be able to tell them, when God called, when there was an opportunity, we stepped up. We didn't know whether we would win. We didn't know if Josh would prevail, but we knew it was something God was calling him to. It hasn't always been easy, but I am so proud of my husband. I'm proud of the way that he is representing you in Missouri, the way that he's representing our family. So I'm thankful that he stepped up to that call. My husband, Josh Hawley.
Thank you. I'm a pretty lucky man, as you can see. And I tell you what, the last couple of days we've been traveling the state. Actually, the last 2 weeks we've been traveling the state. It's been a busy time. Aaron and Abby and I have been all over Missouri. My opponent has been busy too, I might add. I don't know if any of you all saw the news. Last night my opponent shot a reporter. No, I'm serious. At a campaign stunt, my opponent, Lucas Coates, actually shot a reporter because he doesn't know how to shoot an AR. Get this, he had an AR set up and he did it, by the way, with that Never Trump guy, Adam Kinzinger. Do you remember that guy? From Nancy Pelosi's January 6th committee? Coates brings that guy into our state. They go out and try to shoot at a range. They were shooting ARs at 10 yards, steel targets. So they're shooting and it ricocheted off and hit a reporter in the arm. I mean, I know that Coates needed a shot in the arm, but that's a little much, don't you think? I mean, my goodness gracious, you know it's bad when you're starting to shoot random people on your campaign. I like to say it's nuts, but it's Coates. He's taken it to a whole new level. And here's the crazy thing, that's not even the craziest position he's taken in the last few days. The guy is absolutely insane. Let me just give you a taste of what Lucas Coates wants to do to this state. Let me just give you a taste. We've got right now, as we stand here today, a border in the south of our country that is wide open. I mean, it is wide open. 15 million illegals have come across that border in the last 3 years. Do you agree with that?
No.
Do you support it?
No.
Is it good for you and your family?
No.
You know, that's the first thing Kamala did when she came to office. She and Biden, they opened up that border. 15 million illegals coming across, and now my opponent, Lucas Coates, when he's not shooting at reporters, what he wants to do is he wants to get rid of the border wall, and he wants to give every single one of those illegals amnesty. All of them. Do you want to give amnesty to 15 million?
No.
Would that be good for the United States of America?
No.
Would it be good for the state of Missouri?
No.
It would not at all. Not at all, but it gets even worse. Once he gives them amnesty, Coates wants to give them health care, and guess who he wants to pay for it? That's right. He wants us to pay for it. He wants to give them gold-plated health care. Now, let me just ask you, anybody here paying too much for prescription drugs right now? I bet you are. How'd you like to pay for 20 million illegals prescription drugs? Would that be good for you?
No.
Would that be good for your family?
No.
Would that make sense for your kids?
No.
No, of course it wouldn't. But Coates wants to give Medicare to illegals. Then he wants to give Social Security to illegals. Anybody pay into Social Security? Yeah, of course. If you've had a job, you've paid into it. Let me tell you my attitude towards this. You paid into it, you earned it, it belongs to you, and as long as you'll have me in the Senate, there's no way we're giving Social Security to illegal immigrants. Not now, not ever. Coates is so nutty. Let me help. Would you help me out with this? Let me ask for your help on this. When I say it's nuts, would you say it's Coates? Can you do that? Let's try it. Let's try it. It's nuts, but it's
Coates.
Yeah, it's nuts, but it's
Coates.
Oh, it sure is. And it gets crazier. It gets crazier. We got these great farm implements all around us, tractors. We've got some combines over here, I think. Anybody drive a tractor ever? How about a truck? Anybody drive here today in a truck? Yeah. Well, I tell you what, here's Lucas Coates' great plan for our economy. He wants to eliminate all gas and diesel from the United States of America. Oh, I'm serious, all of it. He wants to get rid of all fossil fuels. Now, let me just ask you, do you like paying gas $3, $4 a gallon? Are you enjoying doing that?
No.
Are your gas prices too high?
Yes.
Are your grocery prices too high?
Yes.
You know the cost of gas under Kamala is up 40%. 40%. The cost of groceries, eggs for example, up 70% in just the last 2 years. And we know why that's the case. It's because Kamala came into office and with the full support of nutty people like Lucas Coates, closed down American energy production. And now they want to take away all the rest of it. All of the biofuels that we produce and blend here in the state of Missouri, biodiesel, ethanol, eliminate it. Gas and diesel, eliminate it. It would absolutely bankrupt this country. It would bankrupt every person in this state. You talk about nuts, it is nuts, but it's nuts, but it's it sure is. It sure is. It gets crazier and crazier. Hey, do we have any veterans here today?
Yeah,
Any
right
veterans?
here.
Thank you.
Right
Thank you.
here.
Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love that. I tell you what, I just want to say to our veterans, thank you for giving us a country to defend. We wouldn't have this country were it not for you. And I just want to say, my view is this: every penny that we have together as taxpayers, every penny that we have allotted to our veterans in the military ought to go to veterans in the military and not to sex change operations performed by the U.S. military.
Right.
You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
You think that'd be common sense? Do you know that Kamala and Kuntz, they are right now, they're spending your money on sex change operations in the military. We've got veterans who are literally sleeping under bridges. We've got veterans who have the highest suicide rates we've ever tracked in this country, and yet Lucas Kuntz wants to spend the military's money. He wants to spend veterans' money on sex change operations. Are you for that?
No.
Does that make any sense to anybody?
Makes no sense.
It's nuts, but it's nuts, but it's
Kuntz.
Yeah, it is. It sure is. It sure is. You know, you met my little girl here just a second ago, my little Abigail, and Erin is right. My wife is right. She does have me wrapped around her finger. Listen, I won't deny it. Dad's out there, you know, it's just the truth. It's just the truth. And I'll give you one more example. I've got two boys at home. Abigail mentioned them, Elijah and Blaze, and they've been asking me for the better part of a year to get a second dog. Now, I emphasize second. We already had a dog. They wanted another one, and I said, no, 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 no. We don't need another dog. We don't need more mess. And then my little girl started asking. And Dad's, she gave me the look, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The look where she said, oh, Daddy, please. So we got the dog. His name is Maverick, and I tell you, that dog, he is such a disaster. He has eaten through my cable line. He has knocked out the Wi-Fi. He has dug up all of Aaron's flowers. But the other day, when I left the house, Abby had that dog in the kitchen. She had his paws stretched out, and she was painting his toenails. And I thought to myself, I'm never going to be able to get rid of that dog. And then she started asking for a pony. Anyway, here's the deal. There's nothing that I won't do for my little girl, but I tell you this. I don't want a man who thinks that he's a woman today to follow my little girl into a locker room. No. I don't want a man who thinks that he is a woman messed up in the head to try and come play sports with my little girl. Here's my message to Lucas Kuntz and all these nutty Democrats who want men and women's sports and men in women's locker rooms. Stay away from our daughters.
Yeah.
Stay away. It's absolutely insane. It's insane. You know, I tell you, every now and then in the Senate, I get the opportunity to ask a few questions. And maybe you've seen me in a hearing or two.
Yeah.
These people need it, you know, they need accountability. They need accountability. I'll tell you what, not long ago we had a hearing in the Senate, and it was on women's rights. That was the topic of the hearing. Good topic. The Democrats were in charge, though, so they invited a witness, star witness, from the University of California at Berkeley.
Oh.
Yeah. And so here she is, very, very smart gal. I don't want to mislead you. She's a smart gal, highly credentialed, all that stuff. And she's sitting there, and I mean, she's as close to me as those cameras are right now. I mean, she's right there. And I listened to her for an hour and a half before it was my turn. And here's what I noticed. It's a hearing on women's rights now. She never said the word woman. Never. She kept saying persons with a capacity for pregnancy. No, I'm serious. You can find this on YouTube. Persons with a capacity for pregnancy. I thought, what in the world? So it finally got to be my turn. And I just couldn't resist. I looked at her and I said, Professor, when you say persons with a capacity for pregnancy, do you mean women? And I mean, you would have thought that I had just said the most unbelievable profanity in that room. My mother was a school teacher, by the way, so I know this look. She gave me that look. She, drew herself up to her full height, and she said, Senator Hawley, I would just like to point out the transphobic nature of your question. Seriously, and I was like, I'm not 100% sure what that means, but I'm pretty sure she's called me a bigot. So I said to her, wait. Are you calling me a bigot because I asked you if it's women who get pregnant? And she said, let me ask you a question. So I said, go ahead. She said, do you think men can get pregnant? Seriously, she was serious. And I looked at her and I said, no, I don't think that men can get pregnant. And she said, see, you're transphobic. And I said, see, you're insane. This is nuts. It's absolute insanity. Listen, there are not 200 genders. There are not 2,000. There are two, male and female. And the way that God made you is good.
Yes.
And I'm tired of these nutty people coming to our kids and saying there's something wrong with them and using your tax dollars to try to spend on sex change surgeries. Do you know Lucas Kuntz, not only does he want men and women's sports and men and women's locker rooms. Not only does he want you to pay for it, now he wants to change the Missouri Constitution to put into this state sex change operations for minors without parental consent, and he wants you to pay for it. It's nuts, but it's
Coons.
It's nuts, but it's coons. It is. It's crazy. These people are crazy. Listen, here's the deal. We got 12 days left in this election. 12 days left. And here's my attitude towards the whole thing. For 4 long years, you know how the scripture says that with the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years and 1,000 years is like a day? I mean, the last 4 years have been like 1,000 years that we've suffered through. For the last 4 years, they have shoved these policies down our throats. We didn't want them. We didn't vote for them. They've been terrible for our families. And in 12 days, we get to say, we are taking back the United States of America.
Yeah.
In 12 days,
Yeah.
we're going to make our voices heard. Let the great American revival begin right here in
Yeah.
Missouri. Let it begin right here in Cape.
Yeah.
Let them hear from us all over the country. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
You know, I think of my mother. I have a mother. Maybe some of you have a mom like this. My mother was a great one when I was a kid for singing hymns around the house. And there's not a hymn that I think I've ever heard that I did not first hear my mother sing to me. And it's funny how these things stay with you. I'm 44 years old this year, and I still, they'll come back to me in snatches. Hymns I haven't heard in church since then. And recently, just in this last calendar year, I thought of a hymn that I heard my mother sing, and I don't even know the title of it. Maybe somebody here will recognize it. But there's a passage from that hymn, near as I can remember, that I think is so appropriate. It keeps turning over my head. It goes something like, God of love and God of power, you have called us to this hour. Whatever else we say about the 2020s, when we look back on this time in 20 or 30 years, Lord willing, when we look back, what we won't say is, it was a boring time. It was a quiet time. Nothing ever happened in America in the 2020s. We won't say that. What we will say is, it was a time of trial. It was a time of difficulty. It was a time of danger for our country. But what a privilege to be called to live in this time.
Yes.
What a privilege to be called to live in a time when what we do matters. When
Yes.
the decisions that we make matter. When our voices, they matter. You know, that same hymn, it ends, again, as near as I can recall, God of love and God of power, make us worthy of this hour. Boy, that's my prayer, that in this time of danger for our country, in this time of need for our country, in this time of challenge, that we would be worthy of the call, that we would stand up and say, we will fight for the United States of America.
Yes.
We will defend the United States of America. We will defend the things that we believe in together, our neighborhoods, our churches, our families, our values, and we will take back this country. So help us God. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go do it. Let's go do it. 12 days to go. God bless you. God bless the great state of Missouri. And God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Josh.